Hi guys, back again for a quick video. Um, so about 3 weeks ago we got a new vehicle. Um, it's a 2019 Mercedes-Benz GLC 300. Has a little 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. Um, Real quick, there it is. And like I said, about 3 weeks ago we got this car, and it has 361 miles on it. 361. So I figured I should do an oil change. And I know there's a lot of controversy about whether oil changes that early are good, bad, doesn't make a difference, waste of money, most important thing you can do, whatever. To me, it's one of the most important things you can do. So I went to the dealer, got myself a filter. There it is. Let's see if you can see that better. You can see the Mercedes part number there. So dealer filter cost me like 12 bucks. I think that's a pretty good price. Guy at the parts counter was super nice, cut me a deal, I think. And I also got with the filter one of these little copper rings, little copper washer for the oil pan drain plug. You should replace that anytime you take the plug out. And I don't know if you can see it here, but let's see. This is the bolt head side. You can see it's a little deformed as they get, when they tighten up, when you install these things. And this is the pan side. It's hard to tell, but regardless, it's sometimes you can try to reuse these things, but it's just not worth it, I think. I think that thing cost me a couple of bucks, which is crazy for a little copper washer, but anyways, so replace that. Here are the 3 O-rings that came with the oil filter. These are the used ones. The big ring goes on the oil filter cap, the housing cap, and then the 2 smaller ones go on the little plastic tube that runs down the middle of the filter. If you take yours out, it'll be easy to see. There's plenty of videos on YouTube about how to do the oil change itself, so that's not the point here. I just wanted to show you the parts that came out and the oil that came out of the engine. Again, at 361 miles. I've been driving this car just like at night to get the break-in miles in. Anyways, so here's the filter that came out, and I don't have the new one to compare, but if you have a new filter, you can be able to see the coloration on the element. This looks a little dirty, and the Wrangler over there with the Pentastar has the same type of filter element, similar. When I broke that car in and I did the first oil change, I looked through the pleats of the filter and I actually saw like little slivers of metal, steel, aluminum, whatever, iron, whatever it is, that the filter trapped in the engine. I flipped through this one, all the pleats of this filter, and didn't see any macro pieces like that, but I'm sure that the filter has done its job to catch whatever loose pieces there may be floating around in the engine after the machining and the assembly of the engine. Here's the oil. Right here is the dark one, is the used oil that came out. Disregard the writing on the cup. That's from my when I did the coolant video. Just reuse the cups. So you can see how dark it is after only 361 miles. And here's a sample of new Mobil 1 0W40. Bought this at my trusty Walmart for like 25 bucks or something. This is 5 quarts. The GLC takes the 300 takes 6.9 quarts. So I got like 3 jars of this stuff, do a couple of oil changes. And I think if you look back here, you can see that MB approval 229.5, which I think is the latest spec that Mercedes requires, and this Mobil 1 obviously meets it. Again, plenty of other videos on YouTube and elsewhere about how to do the oil change, how much oil, what kind of oil to use, filter and everything else. But my whole point of this video is to just show you the filter that came out, again, after only 361 miles, and how dark this oil is, right? So this oil is pretty, to me, it looks pretty dirty. It's not, you know, burned or anything like that, but it's just, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, this used oil now is just, it's cutting fluid, you know, in the engine during this break-in process. So that's why at only 361 miles, I decided to dump it out and put some new Mobil 1 in. You know, you may know that the oil in the internal combustion engine has 3 purposes. It cools, cleans, and lubricates. And oil that's only 361 miles and 3 weeks old will do just fine at the cooling. The, you know, heat transfer properties, the flow, everything through the engine is fine. So it's doing, you know, its cooling job without any problem. And as far as lubrication, I mean, the additive package, I'm sure, is still fine after 3 weeks and 361 miles. And it will still do its cleaning job, but, you know, as it's doing this cleaning job on a brand new engine, I think that the oil gets pretty contaminated with essentially machining particles that you can't see. All due respect to the filter doing its job. So anyways, took me maybe a couple hours just to get because I'm not familiar with this car at all, to get the disassembly done, take the covers off the engine, etc., get the filter out, swap the oil out, and I don't know, maybe 40 bucks, 50 bucks in oil and filter parts. I think well worth the money. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks, bye.